Hello. Hopefully, I am actually live on YouTube. I d- Honestly, I've just had my upgrade thing, which I have paid, and I've got the receipt from them. But when I try and connect to my Facebook page as well as YouTube, stupid thing isn't doing it. So anyway, hopefully you can hear me on this. I need to just get my desk sorted. I'll move this computer in a minute. There's no point in me looking on my Facebook page because I won't see comments because I'm not linked to flipping Facebook. Oh, I do hate technology. Right, there we go. That's got that. So hopefully if I put this here, you can still see me in the corner there. There we go. And you've got my desk, which is the main thing that is important that you need to see, which is a bit odd because it's moved across a bit. Hang on. Oh dear. Okay. Try and get it straight. There we are. But hopefully this is all working. I really do hope so. It just it keeps telling me to upgrade and I've just paid. That really annoys me. I paid last week. I've got the receipt, but it won't let me do anything. Anyway, never mind. I am going to show you some stuff today and hopefully it'll work out well. And I wanted to play with this set, which is one of the new sets. Hooray for surprises. And I must admit, I saw the stamp set and thought, yeah, not very exciting. But then I saw the dies that go with it in the bundle. And the dies are just fantastic. I mean, look at these. They're fabulous. Lovely shapes. And you think, oh, yeah, some sort of circles. Funny little bit around the front. What's that? Well, these ones with the little tab are actually tear open things. So I thought I'd show you the first how it works with this. This is the one I'm going to use today. I'll show you the card in a minute. But as it cuts through, as you put it through your cut and emboss machine, you'll find it is cut, but it's still attached at certain bits. And you tell the recipient to pull. And when you pull, you can pull open round those things and see a hidden message underneath. Isn't that good? And I'm leaving it fixed on one so that you can still see it again. Anyway, that is what it looks like. So these things will pull off these tabs. So we've got a heart, we've got two different size circles and a lovely sort of strip tab like the ones you get on the edges of Amazon parcels and things where you can just pull those off. So lovely, and some lovely things that fit in. You Are Simply Amazing fits beautifully down this tab. These all fit inside most of these. So it's really great. So the card I'm going to make today is this one. And this is, you can use this for, well, whatever you want, really. You can use it for Valentines. Valentines is coming up, sending you lots of love and the heart thing. Or you can do it, as I have done here, for your birthday. So I thought I'd show you how I've put this together and made it work, because one of the issues is lining everything up. So I'll show you how I've made this one, because it's a lot simpler than it looks. And I've obviously got my pull thing here, so you can see underneath just, I'm not going to pull it off because I am going to send this card. So the pull shows one of the messages, and I've actually used "You're the best" in there. So that is the card. Let us put it together. So I've already got the bits that I need for this. So the first bit is the base card, and the base card is our usual base card, which is, yeah, I've got the figures here. Let me just check my figures, put them there. Yes, it's 21 by 14.8, scored at 10.5 in centimetres, the usual one. And in inches, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25 for my particularly American people, or British people who like to work in inches, because some of us do still. I work in a mixture, I have to say. I work in whatever seems best at the time. And I managed to lose, oh, I haven't lost my bone folder. It's here. So I can just crease that up, and that is the base card. So really simple. And I've chosen real red because it goes with the paper. Now, the paper is from, I don't think I've got it here to show you. Let me just nip and get that. It's across the room. The DSP pack I've used is this one. It is the most, hold it the right way around. It's the most adored paper. It's 12 by 12. It's a specialty paper. And I have actually done something that I very rarely do, which is I've used the back of the specialty one because I love the specialty papers. They are beautiful. So here they are. You've got some little tiny gold. I hope you see the gold there. Hopefully, cameras don't always pick it up very well, but it's lovely little gold flowers. 2 sheets of each, a sort of pink swirl pattern on the back, 30 flamingo, gold swirly paper with a red pattern on the back, some diagonal patterned paper with pink hearts on the back. And we've got the one I've used, which has got, I'll show you the back of it in a minute. It's got like roses and the hearts on the back. Heart paper, this is rather beautiful. I was going to use this and then I thought, no, I don't want to make white actually. I'd probably use white. I might make this card again and make it for my husband for Valentine's Day and perhaps use this paper, who knows. And that's got checks on the back and then some sort of stripy goldy type paper with pink hearts on the back. Now, one of the things I haven't got up is the chat. Where is the chat? Because if you are there, I can't actually see you. I think it's because it won't open it in my profession, in my pro studio. I can't even see the chat. So if you are there, please do message me. I will see them eventually. But unfortunately, I can't see that as well. Can I add? No, it doesn't want me to do it that way. So I'm really sorry about that. I don't know why it's not letting me come into my account properly or do anything. It's really annoying me, but never mind. Anyway, that's the paper I've used, that beautiful specialty paper. And as I said, I have used the back. This has got the lovely gold foil roses on it, but I have used the heart bit for this. So that is going to stick on the front. I have already prepared some of the bits. So I'm going to make another birthday card. So I've already prepared the inside for my card, and the layers that I've done for that, the DSP layer is 14.3 by 10 centimeters or 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And that's for the DSP layer that's going to stick on the front, which I can do now. And the white layer that I've got for the inside is 9.5 by 13.8 centimeters. That's right. So it's slightly smaller. Again, I've done it 1 centimeter less than the full card. And in inches, that is, where is it? I've got that. It's 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm just going to stick these on so we get this card started, and then I'll show you how I did the middle bit. So here is my paper for the front here. I'm just going to stick that on. So I've cut it so that it's got that 1/4 inch less. So you've got a little bit of a border all round, and the inside will have a slightly bigger border. So I'm just going to stick that in here. So I've just used one of the sentiments from the stamp set. And the stamp set also has a little tiny, tiny heart, which is just beautiful. And I've used that to decorate it. So a little tiny stamp, be careful because they're so easy to lose. I'll show you one here. It's this one here, little tiny, tiny little heart stamp, which is beautiful. So I've used the Hope Your Birthday is Wonderful and the little heart stamped in real red just to do the inside piece. So here is my hearts on the front, and I'm going to make the bits for the front of the card. I'll leave the card there so you can still see it. So I need 3 pieces for that. And the 2 pieces that I'm going to use to make my pull mechanism, they're both basic white, and one is 7 by 6.5 centimeters, the other one 6.5 by 6 centimeters, so 1/2 centimeter smaller. In inches, that can't be right. 2 3/4 by 2.5. Yeah, and the smaller piece is 2.5 by 2 1/4. So again, 1/4 inch different. So they're the 2 pieces I want to do my heart bit on the front. And then I've also got a piece that I'm using for the sentiment, and I'm going to just punch that out. But the sentiment piece itself is 6 centimeters by 4 or 2.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So let us get on with doing some stamping. So I think we'll probably use the same. Shall we use the same? Yeah, I think probably so. So I'm going to stamp for the inside of the heart, the message that's going to come up when we cut out when people pull the message there. I'm going to use You're the Best. And I'm going to show you how I line it up in a minute. So we'll get that one ready. I also want to get my sentiment ready for the top of the card, which is I'm going to use Sending You Lots of Love. And then I want to get this heart stamp with the tulips or whatever they are, some sort of flower on them. They look like tulips to me. I'm going to call them tulips, obviously for the cut out bit at the front. So I'm using, where is it? Here. I thought I got it out. Yeah, I'm using Real Red as the stamp pad. So let's hope this all works, because it's always difficult doing these things live and not making a mess, but hopefully it won't. I have got ready my stamping scrub. Is very dirty, don't worry about that. And I've also got, this is now a retired thing, but it's my stamp cleaning pad, and it just helps with these really, really heavy inks like the red inks that do tend to stain the stamps. It does help to have that. So I'm going to have those ready because I want to clean the stamps as soon as possible after using them, to be honest, when I'm using Real Red ink. So I'm going to just stamp that, just dab it on there really gently. So I'll make sure I've covered my stamp. It's just the bottom there needs a bit more. That's fine, just by looking through it. And then I can stamp it on here. And I want to, now when I'm stamping it on here, by the way, let me just say that, we've got the little pull bit out at the side. So I want to leave a little bit more space at this side than that side. So I'm going to stamp it slightly further to the left on this piece of card, on the larger of the two pieces of card, so that I've got room to have the tab will cut out properly on the right. So that is that bit stamped. Let me just clean my stamp up a bit so it doesn't get too stained. It will, of course, get stained. You can't help it with using Real Red, but hopefully that's not as stained as before. I'll put them away in a bit. So that's my first thing. And then I want to stamp my sentiment so that when you pull this, the message is going to appear. Now, in order to stamp it in the right place, I'm actually using one of the dies to help me work out where I best stamp it. And I'm using the inside circle die, which will actually cut out this particular shape. We're not obviously going to cut that out because that's going to be our pull tab special die. But I can use this by placing it on the smaller bit of paper, ink up my stamp, make sure it's inked up properly, and then I can stamp through the die and make sure that that is going to come out exactly where I want it to come out. So I'm going to cut it out in a bit, but I can make sure now that I've done it in the right place and can cut it out beautifully. So that has got that bit done as well. And then finally, just need to stamp the sentiment, which I'm also going to stamp in Real Red. Obviously, I want to, there, lovely. So there's all my stamping done. So I'm going to put those away in a minute and get rid of my stamp cleaner pads. So I do like my stamp cleaner pad, this one, this stone. It's not brilliant. It doesn't get rid of the stain completely, as you can see on the stamps, but it really does help to clean them up a little bit. So it's definitely worthwhile doing. Right. So now it just remains for us. Oh, by the way, I also prepared the envelope. So I've already stamped some little hearts in the corner of the envelope and one on the back. So that's my envelope already ready. So we're now going to do some die cutting. So I'll just bring in my machine. The desk seems really big when I'm just doing ordinary stamping for myself, but when I'm doing it on screen and on the videos, I seem to need more room. Anyway, let's get this little work. There we go. So first of all, I'm going to cut out the sentiment. So put that in the middle, put this on top. Make sure it's not moving around, which it has done. There we go, that's better. And then run it through my machine. So that's my sentiment for the middle. Get rid of that and put the die back on my set. Now I want my cutout die, the one with the little knobble on it. And this is why, as you saw, I wanted to leave a little bit of room on the right-hand side, because as you can see, when I put this on, I need some room here to cut out that. Not very much, but just enough. So I'll line that up Might actually use a little bit of tape just to hold that down in the right place, if I can find it easily. Oh, a little bit here. This is just a little bit of washi tape. It'll just hold it down, or low tack tape. Anything just to hold it where you want it to be while you do the cutting. So just check that hasn't moved too much. No, that's fine. So run that through. And we can get rid of this out of the way. There we go. So here is my cutout piece. Oop. Try not to actually tear it out while I'm doing it. Take that off. So here it is, ready to be cut out with it still attached in the corner bits, which is where it needs to be. Now, while I've got this bit, there's one more little bit of stamping I need to do, and that is I want to use this little word, pull. So I've got this little tiny word, pull, and I want to put that on just to make sure that the recipient knows exactly what they need to do. And because I'm dreadful at not wanting to waste card, I'm going to use the corner of this, because I'm going to trim this down, and I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to have a pull just here. So I'm just going to stamp that there, just in memento. There we go. Now what I'm going to do with this, I don't want to leave it. I didn't want to just have it stuck on like that, because it looks a bit of a mess, to be honest. So I'm using my scissors to just cut round it. And I'm just cutting by eye. You could use a pencil just to make sure you're getting it in the right place. But I'm just doing it by eye. And I want to cut a little bit of a border, because I need enough to stick the thing down, but not too much. So I'm just doing about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So you could do this with a pencil if you wanted, just to get it as neat as you possibly could. But I'm just doing it by eye, which is close enough. There we go. So there is my pull-out bit. That worked really well, glad. Now this is where I was thinking, okay, I've got that. How do I stick it on to make sure it's actually stuck in the right place and, you know, looking how it should? So how I worked out how to do this is I can place this piece over the back of my, I'll show you there. So I've got it just lined up, because of course it's the same size as this bit at the front that's being pulled off. So I can lie that down and then just put glue around the edge on the front piece and all over the back of this piece here. And it will stay, hopefully, fairly close together, and then I can stick it on the front. I'll show you how I've done it. So being very careful, I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue all the way around the edge, because I want it to stick, because we don't want the whole thing to pull off when they pull the pull. We only want the middle bit to come out. And then I'm going to stick down this piece in the back, because I want that to stick, because that's not moving anywhere. That's what's shown by the time the recipient pulls the little tab and pulls it off. So now I can hold it together using my tweezers, turn it round, line it up. So I'll have it there, press it down, and then I've got my outside pressed down well, my inside will be pressed down, and my little tab is still here, ready to be opened. So I'm just going to ease it up, because I don't want that to stick down in any way. It hasn't. I just want to check, and I want that to be slightly raised, because I want it to be easy for the person receiving it to pull it. So what I found was I just bend it up very, very slightly. I don't know if you can I? No, I don't even see that very much. I've just bent it up very slightly, so it's easy for somebody to get a fingernail under to pull that open when they receive this card. So I just remembered I've thrown out the bit. Where is my bit? Here it is. Because of course I had actually stamped my pull. I nearly forgot to get that bit. So all I do with this is, that was really stupid, wasn't it? Cut it off. Not very straight, actually. I'll straighten it along there. There we go. The beauty of scissors. So I'm going to do it a little bit longer like that. So there's my pull. And all I did in this one is I'm just putting a little pointy arrow bit at the front, which I'm just going to do by eye. So cut it across there and across there. So the little arrow, and that I'm just going to stick down here. So it shows where the recipient needs to lift. So just in case they don't realise there is a hidden message in there, I don't want them to miss it after all this work putting it together. So again, I'll just use, because it's a little fiddly bit, I'll use my tweezers. There we go. So I'm going to have it just here to tell them what to pull. There. And then finally, to finish the card, I'm just going to use the Label Me Fancy. And this is where I actually made a mistake, because I should have made this a little bit bigger to make it easier to get in to punch. But hey, there's always ways. You can use your pokey tool, or you can use your scissors just to move it where you want it to be. So I'm just going to have to fiddle a little bit to make sure I've got it in the middle, and then I can punch it, and there we go. So just get the bit out, make sure it doesn't stay in the punch, so I can close it up and it's okay for next time. And I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. I've got, look at this, I've got the tiniest little bits of dimensionals on the corner of this piece of, oh well, I can use those. That's fine. Use the whole sheet of dimensionals, they say. I certainly do. Right, whoops. Put all these little tiny bits on. There we go. That's used up all those bits. Oh dear. Anyway. So now I've got little fiddly bits to take the tops off. So there we have the sending you lots of love. There we go. Oh dear. And there is my card ready. So here is my little pull. There's my message underneath. And you can see somebody will be able to release that when they get the card. My envelope's already done. And there is my little project, two of the same now, of using this rather beautiful Hooray for Surprises bundle. So really worth looking at this and getting the dies. They're such fun to play with. I'm going to make some, I want to use the Furriest Friends stamp. I was going to do some to show you today, but I didn't actually have time. But the Furriest Friends images, a lot of those fit in these circles, which will make a really nice surprise pull for somebody on a card. And I think this strip is beautiful, and thoroughly intend to use that as well. I was thinking of using it on this, but I think it was a little bit too much if I'd use that on here as well. So I hope you enjoyed that little project. I do apologise for not being able to go live on Facebook, and I apologise hugely for not being able to see any of the chat today. But if you do make a comment, I will reply as soon as I do manage to see them. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you again next Tuesday, hopefully at the same time, if only I can make things work. Thanks very much. Bye for now.